Benjamin Betts.
It's all about the Benjamin Betts, baby.
You know what's up? Yes, and Benjamin Betts, baby.
All right, everyone, here we are. Another episode of a Benjamin Betts podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Corey. I'm here with your other host, Jared, also known as a co-host, also my best friend. We're going to talk some League of Legends, some NBA, because Jared, did you know the NFL season is over?
It's heartbreaking. I don't give two hoots about the XFL or the CF. Like, I don't even remember what the little minor league.
The USFL.
Yeah, the USFL. I just don't care.
AFL.
I don't even know what to call it. That's how much I don't care.
Well, I thought we were going to do an XFL fantasy league, but I guess we're not. So,
I mean, I watched some highlights this morning, and all that they're talking about on Sports Center is, oh, you know, the going for three. That's kind of interesting. You know, 4th and 15 instead of an onside. Cool. And you know, maybe the NFL needs some spice at some point, but like, it's just like, you know, The Rock. I hope it works out for you, man. But
yeah.
I won't be supporting you.
They needed to figure out how you could make live wagers from any state in the XFL. Like, I don't know how you legally do that, but you have to be watching the games. And if you're watching, you can make wagers. If they did that, dude, they'd have millions of viewers. What are we doing?
Absolutely.
Come on,
Absolutely.
XFL.
But then the NFL would get in on it the next day. Like,
They'd copy
immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
But hey, you'd have your time in the light for a little bit, in the spotlight. All right, I'm gonna do a quick NBA recap. Then we're gonna dive into league, and then
hold on. Let me give one NFL. We are gonna do an NFL recap.
Sorry.
Just look at all the statistics, the money that's going to charity. That's going to be coming up here in the near future.
Yep. And
then we'll talk about maybe briefly some off-season things. The whole episode will be recorded in the dark. And you won't know that, but me and Corey and Aaron will. So it'll be a really good time.
It'll be fantastic. Yeah, we're going on our walkabout to talk about our NFL stats and find the next team for us. So our producer Mike, what did he say? He thinks the Raiders. That's where he's going, or did you say that?
So?
Yeah.
No, that's what our producer Mike said. He said, yeah, he thinks he'll go to the Raiders.
I think. Did you know where the walkabout happened? Did you see where he was? Aaron Rodgers?
I did. It was close to the home residence of one of our co-hosts.
Yeah, he did it in Oregon, which totally makes sense because that's where people go to wander around in the woods. And you know he's going to feel like, you know what? I like Seattle. I think the Washington area is pretty, and he can do all his weird stuff there. I think he's going to be a Seahawk. I feel it.
Wow.
I feel Aaron Rodgers to the Seahawks. That's going to happen.
I wouldn't show. I think the best landing place, honestly, for him is the Jets. Like, if I'm being 100% real, like, show up to a place that can actually win. And I do mean that as a slight to the Seahawks and to the Raiders.
Wow. Aaron Rodgers to DK, he'd be like,
that's
that'd
fine.
be like,
they can put up all the points they want, but nothing's happening on that Seattle defense anymore. Like, they're going to have to keep putting points up.
No, they're good. Good defense. Neal and Brooks will be back. It'll be a very good defense. Very young defense last year. That they were 2 years ahead of their timeline.
In New York. That's where he needs to be. That's where I would go.
Cursed if he goes there. I don't think he goes there. Okay, but we will recap that. That'll be good. That was our first season of a sport in the books.
In the books, man. And we made money. Like, I haven't even jotted it all out yet, but I know that we made money for charity, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. And then next year we just avoid our turkey trio and we'll make more money for charity.
A lot more money. So, just get more conservative as the season goes on. And
we did hit a parlay in the Super Bowl. Which
we did hit a 3-team parlay.
A 3-teamer. Yeah, not the 6-team. We're still fishing for that one.
Team is just strong. We're three player prop.
Yeah, 3 parlay. Yes,
3. We'll hash that all out. I want to get to NBA. I want to get to some league or post All-Star break, which I don't know. I'm glad Dame won the 3-point contest. I'm sure that made you happy.
Oh, it was spectacular, and the way he won it too. 4 of the last 5 balls on that rack.
He's money. There's no questioning that man. I have 0 questions for that man. He's All-Star, one of the best players in the NBA. I don't have any questions for that man.
Yep.
What I do have questions about is just the NBA All-Star. All of it is just so blah. Like, it's just so blah.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. Like, the game itself is just like, nothingness. And then the dunk contest, it's like good for Mac McClung, but like I want to see the stars. I want to see Ja Morant. I want to see LeBron.
Yeah.
I want to see the people that we actually care about. And so I don't even watch anymore. I used to live for it when I was a kid, when it was Vince and Kobe and all of the people you cared about. I couldn't tell you the last time I watched it.
Yeah. When I don't, and I watch a lot of NBA and keep up with it. I had no idea who Matt McClung was. I literally was like, what dunk contest is this? What? Like they, and Shaden plays on the Blazers. He was they wanted him in the contest and he said he was going to do it. And then he opted out. I know this is a rookie and a lot of people don't know who he is. He would have been phenomenal. Like the boy he can almost dunk on top of the backboard, but at least he is a top, tier rookie that at least some people know. This guy, I didn't know. Like, yeah. And good for him, right? Now, can we get a little controversial here or no? What do you, I want to bring up a topic, Jared.
Let's talk about DK Metcalf getting tested after his performance in the let's talk about that. Like that, I don't think Roger's going to be able to throw him the ball after those test results come back.
DK is a phenomenal athlete, and he could like barely dunk. Like it's crazy how big and athletic these NBA guys are. When DK Metcalf, like he looked like that athletic guy in a pickup game that can dunk. That's what it looked like, because it was like, oh, that didn't look great, but he got there. It didn't look good. Do you think Mac McClung?
Yeah, I think so.
Because he's a white guy. Do you think that got more play?
I don't know. In my opinion, the first dunk was the best dunk. But it's like, to me, let's use, instead of like race, the concept of like height. When a short guy throws down versus a tall guy, yes, I think it's more impressive. And so I think that same thing, that same mindset, you already have a dichotomy in your mind about a white guy dunking versus a black guy dunking. So yes, like it's nominal. It's almost like a tokenism in that world, right? Like absolutely 100%. Like now, where his dunk's good, sure. Like, but is it like the stuff of legend?
Yeah. No. I think the hype and the like 50s, like because they were shocked by it. Yes. I think was part of it. And he's a no-name guy too. And I think a lot of those factors played in, which is part of the dunk contest now. Like there was kind of that era with like Dwight, when it wasn't about the dunk. That's, in my opinion, that's when the dunk contest changed, when it went from who used to be in it to actually the dunks, to like when Dwight Howard used to do it, it was like, oh, how theatrical are you going to be? And maybe Blake, when he jumped over the car, like yes. It started to be like, oh, let me raise the height of the hoop, and let me do this musical thing. And, and I feel like that's when it started to shift a little bit from like, I'm just going to dunk it and be really cool and it's names, to people you have no idea who they are, But yeah, I could see like Nate Robinson, like when he could dunk, that was always like really entertaining because he was so short.
Really entertaining.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. It needs help. Like Ja Morant needed to be in that dunk contest. And I have just oh my gosh. Like, I don't know how you
freak of nature when it comes to that stuff.
I don't know how you contractually make them do it, but do it.
It's to them, like they were talking about this with LeBron, like the downside for these guys, like losing is worse for their brand than participating. Yeah. Like the chance of winning, the downside is that much bigger than the upside. And that's just hard. Like that's just hard as a fan to like then further root for them, because it's not like we're talking about a place where they're going to have a high percentage opportunity of getting injured. Right?
Hurt their brand in what way?
Because Like this is the argument that they're making in terms of LeBron. Like if LeBron goes out there earlier in his career and pick a dunker from the last 15 years, goes up against him, and then LeBron loses, this other guy wins, then that's a notch against LeBron all time, right?
But okay, I hear that. But why is the 3-point contest always the best shooters? Like, why is, Klay Thompson and Steph, and this was Dame's fourth time doing it. I feel like the 3-point contest always gets the best shooters. So why does it not matter?
Because there's in my mind, there's no ego tied to 3 points. 3 point, like, oh, you missed it, you make it. But like, this is like, you're putting your style, you're putting your reputation. Like it's more, I don't even know what the word, visceral.
Like if you have a bad dunk, people are like, wow, you're dumb. Why'd you do that?
Yeah.
But if you don't make a shot, it's like, well, you just missed a three.
Yeah, you just missed a shot. Like I think there's more on the line historically because of the stars that have done it in the past, right? Like because Isaiah Thomas did it, because Michael Jordan did it, because the biggest names in the show have always done it. And then we move into the like LeBron era, and LeBron's like, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, okay. I that makes sense. I just think even win or lose, like even if you had an amazing round, like who did Vince beat in the 2000 dunk contest? Do you remember?
Ooh, I don't.
Nobody remembers. I don't remember. So it clearly wasn't negative, right? They lost. Everyone remembers. So I think over time, people would just say, well, yeah, so-and-so, that was a great dunk contest. They won. And who got second? I have no idea. Who got third? Like, they may remember LeBron didn't win, but.
Well, and I agree, but that's what I think. Like, I think it does better for everybody if it was like, dude, Ja was in it this year. Tatum was in it this year.
Oh, yeah.
Like, throw your other, like, young athletic star in there. And then you get these rivalries and this competitive aspect that just isn't there.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't tell you another person that was in the dunk contest this year.
Sure. No, I know. I feel you. Like, I think it is hard. Talk about competitive nature. I heard this today on the radio. I'm going to give you a trivia and see if you know.
Ooh.
When was the last, and I'll say, I won't say year, you have to be more specific, but the month and year that LeBron played Kevin Durant in a game that they matched up against each other in a non-All-Star game.
Oh, wow. Okay, so.
And not playoff game. Sorry, I should preference that because they were in the playoffs. That should also give you a hint.
I'm trying to think if we're
before then.
So this is this
regular
is like,
season.
This is like OKC Durant.
Not quite that far back.
So it's Warriors Durant. What year is it? 2023. He's been there that. I'm gonna say December of 19.
You're very close. December of 18.
Oh,
2005 seasons ago, the two of them played against each other in an NBA game. That is like wild to me that like,
yeah.
And they're both competitive and they play in games. So, you know, a lot of that's just bad timing and luck and stuff like that. But I think there's also a nature of like back in the day, it's like, oh, I'm coming back from injury to play against Michael, or I'm coming back to play against Larry.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I'm not feeling up to it. I'll come back the next night. I'm good. Let KD do its thing. Let's not match up unless we have to, which would be a playoff game.
I agree, but that's a great segue into what we're going to talk about now, because it seems like everybody is load managing up until the All-Star break, quote unquote.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now it's like LeBron's like, okay, you know, these are the 24 most important games of my season. And he's like, we're really going to try now. And then the West is so stupid right now that he's like in 11th, but 6 games out of 6th or something like that. And it's just like,
it's crazy.
Oh, it's like, great. Thanks for trying with a third of the season left. That's really cool. And it can still work is the stupider thing.
Yeah. Yeah. When you can be 4 games out of home court advantage and be 13th right now, which is what they are, that's crazy. Now I know you have to leapfrog a bunch of teams, but you really only have to really get on a nice little winning streak. It's crazy. Yeah.
And they have the talent on that team to do so. Like I've liked their moves lately. But my question to you is then are you betting Lakers? Like, is LeBron going to turn on that, like, you know, that look that we've seen sometimes in the playoffs? And are the Lakers a bet-worthy team to you in the West over the next little span?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, last night, I was going to put in a bet, and I was like, first game back. I feel like I had a pretty good beat. I felt very confident about the Blazers-Kings game because we sat everybody. Dame, Grant, everybody, and it was minus 11 were the Kings, and if you tease that down, it was 6. points. And I was
Oh,
like, man, they're going to win by 20. Like the Kings were going to smoke us. They had their full team at Sacramento. So then I'm like, okay, what would be my other game? And I'm looking, and LA against Golden State. It was at LA. Golden State still doesn't have Curry, but even when they did, they weren't a good road team. And that was only a 6-point spread for the Lakers. So it was like, I can get the Kings -6 against the Blazers B team, and I can get the Lakers pretty much in a pick 'em. But I didn't do it because I was like, well, let's just see. Maybe LeBron, I don't know. And yeah, they played really well. And so I think the Lakers this is a different team. The moves they made, they got very fortunate with the Westbrook trade. Pelinka called in some chips there because that should trade never. That's so dumb. This is so stupid. So
he definitely burned some videotape or some photos of some people that needed some evidence gone.
Totally, it's the same playbook when they got Pau Gasol. It was like, what? This isn't. I remember Popovich came out and basically was like, something is wrong here. Like the NBA needs to investigate this trade. So not quite as bad as this one, but it's still sketchy. But yeah, they get into a 2-7 matchup with Memphis. I'm picking Lakers, probably in 6. Like, wow. I don't even think that's close. They're going to get in and they're going to do damage. I don't know if they win. They won't win the title. I won't go that far, but I think I would bet Lakers the rest of the way. There's like 22 games left. I think someone was saying 14-9. If they went 14-9, that was the over-under for them for the season. It was like 41 wins. So, I mean, I think they could go 14-9. Well, they already won a game. So now they have to go 13-9, which I think they can easily do that.
I agree.
40 wins probably get you in. So,
well, I hope it makes for an exciting playoffs. So you like Lakers. Give me 2 more Western Conference teams that you're looking at and you're saying they're bet worthy. And then I want to transfer over to the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone and their mom is on the Phoenix train, and rightfully so. So I'm going to kind of avoid that. I think Sacramento made it through the bad part of where they're the middle of the season when they're not engaged. And now they've gotten here with 20 games left. They're 8 games above 500. They're golden. They're going to be in. They'll be a high seed. I think they're in that nothing to lose. I think Sabonis just does so much. You know, his father taught him well. You know, Arvydas, one of the best players ever walked the planet, has taught his son well. It would have been Arvydas, Michael, LeBron if he had just stayed healthy, but that's fine. Wow. That's okay.
Throwing him above Roy, throwing him above.
Yeah, oh yeah, I love Brandon's incredible. Arvydas probably the best player to ever live, but poor guy couldn't keep those knees. And Russia wasted him. You know, they played that man to the bone. You know, anyway, where was I going with this? So Domantas Sabonis. So
you said you're right in the Suns,
Sacramento, Phoenix, and the Lakers. I think those 3, if you put your money on them the rest of the season, you're coming out 75% win rate for sure. Because you officially now have your tankers, right? Like San Antonio and Houston had been frisky. And I think finally now Utah is like, okay, let's just try to get close ish to the lottery and see what happens. So I think now you're going to start seeing them fully be able to lose games. I watched a little bit last night. The Mavericks played the Spurs, and it was not. They kind of kept it close, but fourth quarter, it was clearly gonna. It was they ended up winning by 20 something. So the Mavs did.
Okay, so let's talk about the other teams then that you didn't say anything about. Nuggets are number 1 right now. Not feeling them. You're not feeling the Kyrie and.
Well, are you asking like
Riggs
for the title or for the rest of the regular season?
I'm talking about bets for the rest of the season.
Oh yeah.
You're saying those other 3 are probably safer bets. Do you think the Nuggets are? Because at a certain point, they're mathematically going to be the 1 seed. They're very far ahead.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of slaughtering going on between the 2 through 13 seed. I mean, and I think Denver can coast it. Jokic will play every game because he'll probably get that 3rd MVP, which would be wild. But they'll rest Porter and Murray and Gordon. So they'll rest the people around Jokic. But I think Jokic alone can be at a 60% win rate, which probably still gets them the 1 seed. So now the only way that they don't would be if another team pushes them, but Memphis is 2. They're going to probably drop. So then you go to the 3 seed, which is Sacramento. Like they're 7 games back of Denver right now. So it's like, that's a lot of games to make up when you only have 20 left.
Right.
So,
Counting on Denver to lose some. Here, I want to say this, and then I want to go to the East. My favorite quote from All-Star Week was when they interviewed and that he said, they're talking about the All-Star game. He's like, this game was not meant for me. not really his, the Joker really didn't think his skill set would be put on high alert during that. And I'm like, yeah, you play fundamental. Like Tim Duncan is sitting at home, like applauding the Joker right now.
Oh, dude.
But yeah, his game is fun to watch in the NBA, but it's not the, reverse layup, fat dunk, mega 3. He's just solid fundamental play, like very, very, very good. Maybe the passes. Maybe he could have had some sick assists or something
and so that was the thing when we started watching it, or when it was on. I was in the car, so I started it on the radio, and the radio guys were like, basically, if he wants the assist record for the All-Star game, Jokic could get it. Like, and that'd be the only way. He probably is gonna set any real record and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just not his game, not his style. It's never been that way. It's a wings, up and down, a lot of points scored. But I love that. Not my game.
Not my game. This game was not made for me.
That's the best.
All right, let's go to the East. If I'm looking at the East, it's like there's just 3 powerhouses there, is what it feels like. The Cavs, I know you bet big early in the season. You had a lot of them. They're sitting at the 4 right now.
Yep.
You kind of just have everybody else 5 and down. That doesn't seem to really matter. I don't think any of them are going to make some noise in the playoffs, but regular season, what do you like?
The only thing I would disagree with you would be you just can't ever count out Jimmy Butler. You can't count out Miami because they're always going to be tough. So, they're sitting at 7th right now. I think you just always have to watch them. They have the skill. I think they've been really weird with the injuries and the resting and all that stuff up to this point, knowing that they got the guys that could say, "Oh, we're going to Boston. All right, we'll beat them." I don't think they
need to get to a 4, 5, 6 seed real quick if they don't want to get bounced in the first round, because they're not going into Milwaukee or Boston. Mm-hmm. They may make a game of it. That's fine. They're not walking away from that series.
Sure. No, that's true. And I think it would be a close series.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all.
But yeah, I think the rest of these teams, I think Washington, it was funny. They had brought it up, like their win percentage since Christmas, and it was like the 5th best in the NBA. I mean, I bet them every night. Like Washington had not let me down in the last month and a half. So it's kind of funny. It's like other people are noticing, like, no, don't talk about the Wizards. Good or bad, but they still like don't get a lot of respect from the sports book. So you just can get, if you tease them, you get +11, +12, and it's like that was automatic. So I think they'll still keep playing well. But yeah, it is definitely Cleveland. I think we'll put up a fight. I see that as a second round out in a 7-game series. That's just like, well, Boston was never going to lose, but Cleveland pushed them. Like that kind of narrative. Because they are good and they have a really good, like, complete team, scores and defense. But it's Boston, Milwaukee, Philly, and then I think there's definitely that drop off, which is fine. I mean, that's kind of been what the blueprint looked like for the East really the whole time, which is just counter to what the West looks like, which is like you and I could make the playoffs right now. I mean, who knows? So
suit them up.
Yeah. But anyway, I would keep betting Washington. I think Miami makes a late push in there. And I think if the line is in favor of Brooklyn because of everything they lost, they actually have a good team. Like if you were to put Kevin Durant on that team and put all those players around him, you'd have a team. Yeah. I mean, so if they're not getting love from the sports books, they're a good team to bet on too, because I think they're just going to be in every game. So that'd be my take on Brooklyn the rest of the way too. They didn't play last night, but I think that'd be what I'd be looking for.
Okay. Oh, I like that a lot. Are you still sticking with your preseason push for Philly?
I'm still sticking with it. I
Like,
think I like it. I still like it, Jared.
when here's my assessment: when people aren't talking about Harden, he's a good player.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I haven't heard anything, right? Like, there's so many other stories, whether what's going on down in Alabama right now, or it's like when he's just allowed to like do what he's supposed to do, he's really good. In my mind, it's the same thing. If people would just stop talking about the Dallas Cowboys, they could probably win a Super Bowl. But people are going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, so they're not going to win a Super Bowl because there's that expectation. Expectationless James Harden is phenomenal. That game they won last night where they came back to beat the Grizzlies, that was great. Tobias Harris made a play. Mm-hmm. Harden makes a play. The players are making plays, and they feel like they're gelling. So I don't know. I was kind of eating crow a little bit this morning because I threw a lot of shade at you earlier in the season for picking Philly,
and they started off very poorly. But like I said, the future bet was the finals, not regular season.
Correct,
and they've come into form. And you're right. If Harden can just tune out the noise or whatever he needs to do, because like you said, when no one's paying attention, he's fine. Well, when you're in the playoffs and you're one of the last 4 teams left, well, everyone's going to talk about you. And so it's like, how do you not disappear in those moments? And I think Embiid is a big enough character that can steal the spotlight from him and maybe the attention, and he just can perform. There is just something that smells weird about Boston, and I don't know why. I just don't trust them. I don't know why. Oh my gosh. I mean, Tatum and Brown are like incredible, man. If you were going to build a team and you needed wings, like those guys are incredible. Jaylen Brown is so good. I don't know. There's just something about him. I don't know. I don't trust him. I don't trust him.
Okay, let me ask you this, because I think like you just said, they're both emerging superstars. Not just like really good players, like we're talking, but they're emerging.
Yeah.
So is it this lack of like veteran leadership? Like when you look at the last teams, like you could definitively say like maybe with the argument of like Giannis as like a young and up and coming superstar, but everybody knew that he was the guy.
Yeah.
Is it this team identity? Is it a leadership question?
Yeah.
Or is it kind of just this like gut feeling when you look at them and you're saying there's something missing, but I don't know?
I don't think they want that. I don't think they want it enough. Maybe that's a stupid like cliche thing to say, but I think that's how I feel. Marcus Smart, I think, cares. Not saying that Tatum and Brown don't care. It just doesn't feel like they want it as badly. And I'll just say from just how I place bets, I just inherently don't trust them. I very rarely pick the Celtics because they just don't. I feel like they don't cover a lot of games. They've lost some bad ones. They lost to the Thunder by like 40 earlier in the year. When it's a full Milwaukee team, when it's Giannis and Holiday and Middleton, instant bet. I bet them. I don't even care because I just trust them so much, and they always come through. Boston, I don't trust them to close out a series or a game, and they came so close last year. But did anyone really think Boston was going to win? Like, I think everyone still was just waiting for the Warriors to win that finals. But I think it was interesting though in the All-Star game, and of course I'm biased and I'm going to say this, but I think that the team wanted Lillard to win the MVP. Like I think Team Giannis wanted Dame to win. That's why they let him shoot. It was like 9 threes in like a span of 5 minutes. And he, of course, went 1 for 9 because he's jacking him up from 40 feet. But like they wanted him to win. And he ends up with like 26 points. He hits the game winner. He probably was third in line to that MVP, but Tatum, 55 points. It was like, ugh. Like I think they deferred to Dame. And then clearly when he wasn't making those threes, it was like, okay, like, someone else, give the ball to Tatum, give the ball to Tatum and let him score. So I think they like playing and it's joyful and all that stuff. I just don't know. That's why I don't trust Boston. And maybe they win the title, but I don't know.
I talked to you about this a lot, and I think it's for me, when you get to the finals, there's got to be this cold-blooded resolve to you.
Yeah.
Like it is the point in time where it's not going to come. Like you're not just going to win. You got to go take it.
Yeah.
And you can see, like, when you look back through champions, like when you look at Michael was going to go take it. He was going to go take it. He was going to take the food right off your plate, eat it, and have no remorse about that. And then, like, just thinking back through all of the champions, like all of those Spurs teams that won like every other year. I know you hate the Lakers, regardless of their character, they were going to go take it.
Yeah.
It was theirs.
Yeah.
You were a threat. They were going to go take it. That's what I haven't seen in Boston yet, is like this confidence, like that look that you sometimes see from LeBron in the finals, where it's just like this, like, it's almost like this shivering look, this like, I'm so locked in.
Yeah.
I'm like a cold-blooded snake and you're a mice. Yeah. And I'm about to just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you want to do.
No, for sure.
And I haven't seen that in Boston.
Yeah, neither have I. And they've been getting closer, right? Conference finals and now the finals, and they lost. So I mean, maybe this is the year where there's finally the breakthrough, and you know, pairing them up against any Western team, they're probably favored. Like even Denver, I think the Celtics would probably still be favored. I agree in that series, but I don't know. I'm just not a believer. But yeah, I mean, even those Laker teams, like you had people that were really good superstars, like Shaq, and then on the second iteration, Pau Gasol. You know, and so you had good role players around.
Really good supporting.
You had good role players like Derek Fisher,
Kobe,
Robert Horry, Kobe. Yeah, he was Kobe. Good. He was a good role player too.
Kobe never had that look in his eyes where he was just going to take over and win a game.
He had the look sometimes, but no one cared. Like it was like, oh, he's just in a bad mood. And there goes role player Kobe in a bad mood. And so, yeah, they did want it. Shaq said, "Give me the ball. I want it."
I'm gonna make an epic transition right now. I don't even know if you're ready for this. Do you know who one of the great Laker role players of all time was?
Oh, I already know what you're doing. I love it.
Rick Fox. Rick Fox was a great. Smug as all get out.
So smug.
Yeah. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that for a time he had a stake in a League of Legends team.
And he named it after himself.
And they are no longer in the LCS on any level.
Fox.
LCS, let's talk some LCS.
Okay, before we go to LCS, we'll take a quick break and then we'll go to LCS.
That sounds great.
Okay. I love it. Okay.
Millions of segue points right there. Millions of segue points.
You win your segue points. All right. I don't think you're ready for this segment, but you better put your pants on.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready for you to get on a plane.
Ooh, baby. That's gonna be good. Oh, I'm so excited. We may just go to the next one. Just keep traveling. So
what's the next
just be ready for that one. I don't really know. We'll look it up. We'll just keep going. Turn the phones off. Zap. Don't know what happened to Corey and Jared. They gone. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we're back from our riveting sponsors of the Benjamin Betts podcast. We're ready. Jared had an epic transition, so we're going to keep this flowing into League of Legends. Jared, are you ready for something?
I can't wait. I have no idea what's coming, and stuff like this excites me greatly.
Last time we did this, you picked the games.
Yes.
This time, I'm going to pick the games.
Oh, okay.
We're going to do 2, and these actually, so when this podcast comes out, these games will have already happened, but we will see how well you do. So this is just to test your expertise, we can call it. So today at 4 p.m., this is being recorded on Friday, TSM plays Cloud9. Okay. I want you to just pick the game first. Who do you got? Right now, Cloud9 is minus 310 in this matchup against TSM.
They should be.
Are you going straight up? Are you putting money on Cloud9 with the minus 310? Or are you trying to get value with TSM at plus 225?
No, if Cloud9 had won yesterday over the hottest team in I'm not kidding. Like
no, yeah,
then absolutely, but that's going to really piss them off. And TSM, they're mid range right now in the LCS. They're very streaky. They've still got some roster camaraderie issues that I think need to work out. I think C9 does not lose 2 back-to-back because they haven't all season. and that's easy C9 pick. You're not getting great odds, but the value of like taking TSM straight up is not going to happen.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious about the matchup because we are playing each other in fantasy, and we have our mid laners are against each other today. I have Maple on TSM, and you have the Cloud9 mid laner, which we don't know who that is. I think it's a menace now. I think Diplex got the bench. I don't know what happened.
Got the boot.
So we'll see how that goes. That should be entertaining. All right. We're going to go down the board here. First team. Let me do that. You're going to pick 5 bets on this. Sorry. I have to preference this because now we have been added. There's more bets to have here on now. So this is good. Over under, Jared, 23.5 kills.
Oh.
TSM Cloud9, 23.5 kills. Over or under?
That's a good line. My gut says under.
Under. Okay.
I just think that it could just be a very simple Cloud9 smash and it ends like 14-2, 14-3. Okay. The bloodiness of the game state right now, I got burned on this weeks ago, it's just less so. When your meta is very, tanks in the jungle, sometimes tanks in the top lane, and you have kind of these like hyper carry type of situations going on in the ADC with like the Zeri and things like that, it just doesn't always lead to as bloody of a game, right? You need hype early game to get these high kill counts.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. That makes sense. So we're going under 23.5.
Under 23.5.
First team to draw first blood. TSM or Cloud9? Who gets the first kill of this game?
I actually like TSM to get first blood here in the mid lane because of the roster switching of Cloud9. Like there's just communication doesn't flow. You're not going to gank the bot lane or the top lane, in my opinion. So this would have to be Blabber making a mistake somewhere on a gank or getting caught out or something going wrong mid lane. And I think that happens, even though Blabber is top 3 jungler. I just see TSM getting early, then like that Cloud9 alarm going off and then them locking in and then just walking all over TSM.
Okay. I like it. All right. These last 2 are a little bit more creative. Total inhibitors. I think there could be some money made on this one.
Ooh.
1.5 over under.
So just so people out there know who don't play League of Legends, inhibitors are this, it's kind of like a base thing that you can attack. It doesn't attack you back, but it can regenerate itself. Like they die and then they come back. So literally you could have an infinite number of inhibitors taken in a game because they keep coming back.
Yeah.
I'm going to say over.
Yeah.
I think there is a very early one taken and then nothing done off of it. And then an inhibitor taken again to end the game. So I'm going to say over 1.5 inhibitors taken.
Okay. Over 1.5 inhibs. All right. That's, you're minus 215 on that one. The under is plus 150. So I
just don't see someone like taking that first like just like a March.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be more parity than that.
All right. Final one. Game length or map duration is how it's labeled on here.
That's a terrible category.
5 choices. Under 20 minutes is plus 10,000. Under 20 minutes. 20 to 30 minutes is plus 190. 30 to 40 is minus 165. So that's the favorite. 40 to 50 minutes is plus 500. 50 minute plus 8,000.
There's a temptation in me here to take like the 50 plus minute, like, because right, these are 2 storied franchises. The star power is not as equal as it used to be, right? And that's TSM has been part of some of the longest LCS games ever, but that was their glory days in the LCS.
And the game was a little different back then.
Like the game was
dragons were just
like
there. You just got gold, I think. You didn't even get like buffs or anything. It was just gold.
But like a 50 plus minute game does on some level add up with the other things that I've selected so far.
Yeah, it does.
But I say take the money and take the 30 to 40 minute game.
Oh, 30 to 40, lame.
Couple of inhibitors.
Okay.
It's still low scoring enough to stay under that. It just fits the build for what I think is going to happen in this game.
Yeah, I would bet, and I don't know this off the top of my head, but I bet 75% of games end in 30 to 40 minutes.
I would think that is the meta right now. There's not enough assassins, big damage characters being played to spark this early team stuff that we usually see during Worlds when the meta switches.
Yeah.
Right. When it's really fun. Assassins haven't been in the meta for a long, and it's like, I miss that. I'm sorry, I'm off topic, but I miss like seeing a Zed,
okay.
a Zed in the mid lane.
Yeah.
Things like that, where these like high technical outplays can happen.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, and again, like you said, it just takes a lot of technical skill there to do that. And I don't know if I know meta, but you know, a lot of those Korean mid laners or the Chinese mid laners, those pocket picks can be Akali and Zed and, you know,
LeBlanc and all. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's good for NA, the state of the game. We have a prayer right now because we tend to play, you know, either tank top or tank jungle metas pretty well. But even then, we still get out executed in the team game. So it's like, do you want to get outplayed 1v1?
Yeah.
Or do you want to get out objective and team played? Take your choice, NA.
Take your choice. You're going to lose either way. Just you pick. Faster or slower. All right.
Frustrating.
Last one we're going to pick is, and this one because this affects our matchup the most, Team Liquid against 100 Thieves.
Oh, it's such a great one.
That's the one we're picking. This is all you have left. You have your Cloud9 players. Then you have Team Liquid jungle, 100 Thieves top lane. And I have 200 Thieves players.
I don't. That's such a great one. Here's the thing. Liquid is exactly where I thought they would be. They're exactly where I thought they would be.
Yeah.
You have these new players coming together. You have veteran leadership. You have Korean players. They're sorting it out. But I mean, if you look yesterday, who did they play? Liquid played Immortals. They should stomp Immortals. Like, there's no question there. 100 Thieves loses to FlyQuest. Yes, FlyQuest is just unparalleled right now in the LCS. So now you have this team that is probably performing where they should be, which is Liquid, versus 100 Thieves, who they are not in a good place. They should be a top 3, top 4 auto playoff team with that roster. A lot of veterans. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there.
It's frustrating.
It is very frustrating.
They've thrown a lot of games. Yeah, for sure.
So I'm looking through the last time 100 Thieves is on a, oh, wow. Okay, hold on. I'm going to make sure I'm counting this right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 100 Thieves on a 5-game losing streak. They were 4-1 to open the season, and they are now 4-6.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I lost last week in my fantasy matchup against this random guy we don't know. Shout out to Lulu. You're in our league. We don't know who you are, but shout out. But you beat me because 100 Thieves wants to lose every game. So, yeah, I don't know.
I am, for the sake of my fantasy team and nothing else, I'm going to take Liquid.
Okay.
Piosic had a really great game yesterday against Immortals, but it's Immortals. This one could be a classically great game because both teams feel the same to me.
Yeah, this was and the other reason why this was a good one to pick is this is the most even of all the rest of the matchups, and of course it had our fantasy implications. But yeah, they were the closest. Okay, we're gonna now pick different ones. So I'm gonna have you do the spread on this one. 3.5 is the spread. So Liquid is -3.5 or 100 Thieves plus 3.5 kills. What do you got?
So you say that again. Liquid plus 3.5 or 100 team minus 3.5.
Other way, Liquid is -3.5, so they're favored. They have to win the match by 4 kills or more for you to hit that. Or you could go 100 Thieves. They get plus 3.5 kills.
It sounds like I'm playing both sides here, but I really think this is a close game.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take 100 T plus the 3.5 because I think it's very realistic that this is like a 1-2 differentiation. I don't see Liquid blowing up. I still think 100 Thieves has the stronger roster, if I'm being honest. So like, maybe Liquid's down 3 kills, they get an ace. at an objective and win the game. Something like that seems very reasonable to me.
Okay, I love it. So then how does this play out? First team to kill a Baron. Liquid or 100 Thieves?
I'm going to say Liquid. I think that's where it happens. Like if I'm writing the narrative of the story, it's 100 Thieves up on dragons, Liquid in this really weird space of needing something. And then maybe it's a battle where they rush Baron while Thieves is trying to lock down Dragon 3 or 4. They realize what's happening. There's a battle, and then Liquid in the milieu of the battle of Baron gets Baron.
Yep.
Takes the ace, takes the game.
Okay. I this next one feels like a no-brainer to me, but I don't know. Total towers. Over or under, Jared? 12.5 towers taken.
Way under.
Under? I was going to say over. There's 3, 6. So each team has 12 towers in play. And then there's 3 in each base. So there's 18 towers. No, and then the 2 in the base and the Nexus towers.
Yeah, each team has
22.
Each team has 11.
Yeah, there's 22 towers. 12.5.
But to me, like, look at the matchups here, right? I think high tower games are ones where you just have this dominant force, especially in like a top lane. So when you look, it's who's in Summit is Liquid's top lane. He's been playing like trash. Tenacity is, in my opinion, not like an upper or top tier laner for 100 Thieves. I don't, in my mind, it should go Summit's favor, and he probably could play something. Okay. And then you look mid lane, it's Bjergsen, who historically does not give up towers, regardless of how good his skill is. He's not getting bullied in lane. He may not win, but he's not getting bullied to the point. So I think it's got to go through one lane. I don't think this is a point where all 6 outer turrets are down. Maybe that, but then I think it's, like I said, I think there's an ace. I think there's a push. And then I think it stays under 12.
Okay. All right. Under 12 and a half for towers. All right. Okay. Last one. We're going to go. The only one I'll do this the same is duration, because I think this one's fun. So same things. Under 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 plus. The odds are all about the same. The only thing that's changed is the plus 50-minute game is actually lower odds. It's plus 5,000 instead of 8,000. But everything else relative is, the favorite pick is still 30 to 40 minutes.
I think both teams need this win. I think this is a very conservatively played game by each team, so I'm taking 40.
Yeah, I like that one. I
taking
like
the 40
to 50. You can get plus 300 there.
Yeah, give me that all day in this game.
Man, Bovada, you're this nice little betting site here. These are some juicy picks. I think there's some real money to be made here. I hope they don't hear our podcast and change these.
I want to see. I want more in depth. I want over under 50,000 mouse clicks in the game. I want
how many clicks per?
I want
clicks per minute.
I want eye time on map above or over. Crazy things like that. Like I think I want to get really down in there.
Have you ever, or when maybe you have or lately, but have you ever watched a jungler on their stream play?
Yeah, I know people on listening to this can't see us, but yes, it's like this.
Yeah. They're not.
It's like they don't look at the screen.
They're not.
They look at the map.
They're not even on their screen. Like they're not looking at their champion really. Like it's crazy. They're it's just pop, 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 like top lane, mid lane, but they're looking at all these other parts of the map except really their character, which is wild to me. Like they're so efficient in what they're doing, and they're so fast at the clicks and the movement. You and I play jungle. It's just like, sorry, I'm jungling. Sorry, your lane's dead.
AFK
you're
jungling.
Bad.
AFK
noob. You're bad. But
well,
it's like,
I will say it is
crazy.
Frustrating when you are like at the beginning of the game when you should be like taking your second camp and your bot lane is already 0-3. Oh. Like what do you want? And then it's like, oh, bad jungler.
Bad jungle.
Like, what? Like, at least get me to the 5-minute mark before you start flaming me. Come on.
Jungle AFK, Jungle Diff. When did that become? That had to be a pro player had to start the diff thing, because when we started, which was years ago, I was gonna say aeons. Is that even a word?
Eons, all of those. That is how long we've been playing League. That is how long we've been playing Pokemon. That is how long. Which, by the way, check out our other new podcast, Teach Me Pokemon.
Oh, Teach Me Pokemon. Yeah, that'll be the ad read. Teach Me Pokemon. But yeah, the top players, Jared, they're all 30 now. They're all that age. It just my wife, who I was trying to convince her to let me play more Pokemon. I was like, yeah, you want to watch the finals? I was like, finals is going on in Australia. She's like, no. But I turned it on anyway. And she could just see one of the players, Azul. He's an older player, so that's fine. That worked for our advantage. The other guy, he's like a kid. He's 15 years old. And his arm, you could see his arm. That's all you could see. And he's like shuffling his deck. And my wife was like, he looks young. Look at his young arm. That's a young arm right there. And I was like, what? And then they showed his face. I was like, okay, yes, he just came up from the senior division. He is young, but everyone else is old. It was just, he didn't help prove my point. So same thing in League.
But I just think that's continuing to be the trend, because ours is the generation that grew up on all of this media, and they're just not like, there's no reason in today's age to just quit. Now you're going to be doing it every weekend professionally. No, but like I told you this story a week ago, I went into my bank teller. We talked Pokemon for 30 minutes with my bank teller. Never met the guy before. Saw that he had a Switch, and he was like, "Yep, playing Scarlet."
Yeah,
cool. Let's talk about that. Like, it's commonplace in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like talking about the weather sometimes. It's just
absolutely. Like, we're not talking about some niche weird thing. I've said this so many times. We're talking about the number one like media franchise of all time, and we're involved in that, and we're weird. Yeah. No, we're not.
Yeah, get out of here. Well, my last thing, just to wrap this up, this would be the bet. This would be the underdog bet of the week. Give me Dignitas plus 550 against FlyQuest.
Yes. No, dude, that's so funny you said that. I was going to say that on the way out. I was going to say pick as we close out.
Okay.
Dignitas.
We did not plan that, everybody. Yeah, they're going to win. I think they win that matchup. I think I still call him Incarnation. That's what is I'm blanking, Jared. Mid laner. Dignitas. Jensen. He used to be called Incarnation a long time ago. He's still, I think, the best Westerner. He can outplay Korean mid laner. I've seen it. He can do it. I've seen it. And he might be older now. Well, he is older now. But this is his meta. Give him Orianna. Give him Victor. Give him Azir. So
let's go.
Dignitas. Big win. In fact, can I change out my players? No, I can't. That's stupid. Should have picked up all Dignitas this week.
I mean, maybe FlyQuest has it right. Like when you, there is, I don't know if this is true. This has the potential to come off really wrong, but at the same time, there are bets laid on this on some of the site. There are only Asian and Asian American players on FlyQuest.
That's the whole team.
That's the whole team.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean,
thank you. Wake up, NA.
Yeah. Like, come on, NA. What are we doing? Do we want a world title or not? What are we doing?
They're smoking people. Like they just have a good lineup. Like, and I'll be the first to say I didn't see it. Right. If you go back and listen to our old podcast, I said they're going to end up mid range. That's what they usually do. They're smoking people, man. Like,
no, they're playing well.
They're playing so well, and it's just fun to see. Like, could this be the NA team that makes a splash? And I say NA team very loosely because there are a lot of imported players on this team.
I think you have to still have 3 NA or 3 of your region or whatever.
Yeah, you have to have 3 people with citizenship.
That's what
in that country. So, we're really trying to push visas through for our new Chinese American and Korean American friends so that we can.
Please, guys, what are we doing? Can if we started a GoFundMe for us to buy a league team, do you think it'd get traction? Should we do that?
I think why not have a public team that we're just in charge of,
like the Packers? I think they're owned by the public, right?
Yeah, but we're just making the decisions on the high level decisions here.
Oh, I see the next thing. Okay, I love it. All right, Jared, let's track these bets. Let's see how you do. I had a report from last week, but I left that at home, so it wasn't. I won't lie to you, it wasn't great. I think you made 9 picks. I think you were 3-6. That's okay.
Yeah, it was a rough week.
Well, and that was the first time we had introduced these other, over-unders and kills, and they didn't have these other things that you could bet. So we're opening up the playbook for you. So that was your, call it preseason. No one cares about the preseason. This is the season now. We're jumping in. So, okay. All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate the time. This was a good BB, good Benjamin bets. And
Good
then
Benjamin bets.
Yeah, we'll have some NFL recap here soon for you. I still have a special guest we're bringing on.
Oh,
Yeah, won't tell you who that is yet, though. We won't tell the audience, but it'll be good. It'll be a goodie.
Tell Mark C I said hello.
He's excited that he has Kyrie and Luka now on the same team. All right, buddy. Catch you next week. See you, everyone.
Catch you next week. Benjamin Bets.
BB.
Yeah. It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.